Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Castantino, and we're going to be talking about Star Wars. So, as I said in previous video, Star Wars is not slated to be coming back after this year, until 2019, until 2022, which is very interesting if you know what's going on. So basically, and I looked it up just in case, and there's nothing about any extensions so far. So basically, right now this is how it goes. Right now, 2021 will be the end of Kathleen Kennedy's freaking reign of stupidity. Because she's done nothing. She's done nothing with Star Wars. Not a damn thing. She's pushed the only good movie. I mean, here's basically what's happened. They had a $2 billion movie with. See, I've disgusted with these trilogy movies. Episode 7, The Force Awakens. So that was a $2 billion movie. They hit another $1 billion movie with, I like this movie, Rogue One. I hate that I forgot that name. I really like that movie. That is my favorite of the movies they've made so far. And funny enough, it wasn't made by an asshole who freaking just wanted to make an ego thing or actually knows how to direct. And of course, they had Last Jedi, which actually made $700 million less than TFA, and was made by everybody's roundhead jackass. So anyway, let's fast forward it to today. So as I said, Disney has unleashed its schedule of mediocrity, and overall, it's not impressive. I'm not impressed. There's one movie I might be interested to see, but I haven't seen Death on the Nile, which is actually going to be done by Fox, and is a movie that's a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, which is another movie that I want to see, haven't seen it. So Fox is basically the only one doing anything new. Everything else is more Disney crap. Star Wars, the next Star Wars movie won't be until 2022, as I said. Now, I'm going to put some links into the bottom. Now, there have been from some sources, like I said, I'll put the links down there to the videos from, and if these people see this, I apologize. From Midnight's Edge After Dark, and they've announced, they were talking about it, and I keep doing this. Anyway, John Campea, don't know who the fuck he is, don't care who he is, has independently, rumor that Johnson's trilogy is basically canned. It's not happening. It's been thrown out the window, and they're keeping Johnson as a consultant, which, okay, if this rumor is true, good. We don't have to deal with Johnson freaking tearing up some more Star Wars. The only good thing would be he'd have to make his own shit. And I don't trust him to make his own shit because, frankly, he couldn't follow he had something. It's not like he didn't have something to go on. They gave him something to go on. And he completely threw it out and made his own thing. So this isn't like what's going to be talked about later, where he had to follow a particular script, and then he literally went and made his own thing, like he was making his own trilogy, because he's an egotistical asshole, and it turned into a freaking ego trip. This was a total ego movie. So where was I? So okay, 2022. So by 2021 will be when Kathleen Kennedy's contract's up. This is what makes it interesting. The fact that they're keeping him as a consultant, but if the rumors are true, a consultant means that he's got a contract that he's supposed to be involved. Now, consultant basically can mean, haha, good, that's a good idea. Basically, they can tell him to F off. They did it to Lucas. So the consultant thing doesn't even really bother me unless they actually take his word seriously. As far as the Kathleen Kennedy thing goes, as I said, her contract's up in 2021. We'll see what happens. Do I think Iger has the balls to freaking just let her thing go out? Well, he didn't have the balls to freaking fire her, because it's so much more important to cater to a bunch of jackasses that don't buy your stuff, don't go to your movies, and are part of a dying mainstream media. So yeah, regardless, I don't think if this rumor is true, I can't see them. There's no reason to keep Kathleen Kennedy. There really isn't. You've given up on anything she might have said. So this is basically a whatever they call it, a move. I forget what patent they call Amidala called it in episode 1. Move of no confidence. That's what I was thinking. So anyway, which leads into something that's been happening recently. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones recently has, how do I put it nicely, angered the fan base because of how they treated one of the villains, the Night King. Okay, well, let me get this straight. Let me get this out there. My knowledge of Game of Thrones basically goes to a meme about winter coming and everything else, and a episode of South Park where they have a song that goes wiener 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 wiener. So that's where I'm coming from. Way outside the box. Haven't even peeked inside the box. So I apologize. Anyway, so this has been a rant on Doomcock. Again, I'll link his video in the bottom of him going off on that. Now, all right, and I feel bad that I kind of went off on about this on one of the Midnight's Edge videos on a comment. So let me do this. Now, in that comment, I said that I had no faith in Star Wars with these guys. You know what? And after a little bit of thought and being reminded that I brought this up, that okay. But basically, here's the deal. What happened with Game of Thrones is the fact that these two guys have been copying what the George R.R. not Tolkien, dumbass Martin. I don't even know if that name's right. But despite that, basically they've been copying what he's already done with his books up to this point a couple years ago. Which basically, and then they've been forced to do their own thing from I think season 6 to now, where they finally cut it off. I don't know. I don't know if it was season 6 or started in season 7, but I want to say it started in season 6. Anyway, as I said, my knowledge of GOT is terrible because I have no interest in it, because this has happened at least twice before that I know of. This has happened on two very popular animes. Well, the remakes were popular. These number one, it happened on Full Metal Alchemist. The original Full Metal Alchemist got so far, and then they kind of had to make things up as they went along because, well, they didn't have the full story. So the show went one way. I think it ended with him ultimately with the main brother that I can't remember his name. Sorry, future Glenn. So he got transported to World War II, our World War II, our world, World War II, World War I. I don't know. It doesn't even flippin' matter anymore. It got weird. He got transported to a different dimension. Now he can't use alchemy. Alchemy is actually, every time someone uses alchemy, someone dies. So basically it got stupid. But eventually it got replaced by Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I've not seen much in my... Sorry. So I'm told it's better, and from what I've seen, it's a lot better. And the other one was Hellsing. I did unfortunately see that one. I saw the whole thing. Oh boy. And woof. Just woof. Wow, that was bad. Because it ends with Alucard fighting an ancient vampire thing, while Hellsing Ultimate brought in a bunch of Nazi vampires. That's a whole different rant there. That's a whole different rant. Maybe I'll get to that. But anyway, so basically, two animes had to go off on different directions because they ran out of stuff to go off on, and these shows weren't done by the original creators, but they had to go on their own tangent, and then they got replaced by better shows that came after the storylines were done. Game of Thrones isn't going to happen like that. It sounds like the same thing happened with these guys. They got so far, and then they had to improvise with characters that they didn't create. That they had to try to make engaging stories, and basically it brings to the issue of what happens when you're forced to follow someone else's script, and then you have to go off script. Do I agree with what they ended up doing? Not really. Not how they did it, because they're being accused of snoking it. And of course, roundhead jackass had to frickin' run his mouth, but he's an egotistical bastard who should probably. Well, I'm not going to say it here. Anyway, so saying they don't know how to write, they don't know anything. I still have no faith in Star Wars until certain people are gone.